Hey, everybody. Guess what? It's another Top 9 podcast, baby. What? Oh, my God. November. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Yeah, November 1.
What?
November 1.
Really snuck up on us, huh?
It's two more months left.
Nice
then
and
it's
crisp out
over.
there, too, today, huh? The fall. It's like it was hot, and then it's like, that's gone, right? You were not getting another warm day.
No, but the people were complaining about it being too hot. People I was around there like, that's too hot, it's too hot. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's going to be cold soon. And now
Yeah.
they're getting what they want. And now these people are nowhere to be found.
No.
I don't think they leave their house. I'll be honest with you.
A lot of Johnny-come-latelys.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the heat goes on in the building, that's when you know it's really serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have
Anyway.
heat in your building?
Yeah. Radiators, they're clanging around. Hey, everybody, Top 9 Podcast. Tom Cassidy, Adele Carollo,
Hi.
special guest, Mike Vecchione.
Welcome,
Well,
Mike.
thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
This is good podcast for posture because I have to sit up and make sure that I'm leaned into the mic.
Yeah.
Same. So I'm always complaining about my my angles on the camera
Yeah.
to Tom. I'm like, I'm too much of my jowls.
Yeah, I did one like that, and I didn't like the angle on it, but I think straight on is better. I'm confident in my looks straight on.
You look good.
Yeah.
You
No,
look-
I know
I
what you
said that when
mean.
you walked in. You looked fresh to death.
To be honest, I feel like I'm more of an audio guy anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of just have the video as an option for people who like video.
Right. People need video now. They need the full experience.
I think you got to multicast, you know?
Until we can get to a virtual reality podcast
Uh-huh.
where you're actually yelling at them in their kitchen.
Simulations.
Yeah.
You look good in purple, Tom.
Yeah, but
Speaking
thank
of being
you
on camera.
very much. That's an interesting idea, and I've thought about that before. Thank you for the compliment. But like a lot of podcasts, people that are like really good at podcasts, it's better that you can't like smell them,
Right.
you know, because like they might have bad breath or like stink.
Yeah,
Is
some
that-
people don't belong on camera. What's the
Or no, some
phrase?
people
You have the
translate
face for
radio.
radio. You
Yeah,
have the face
Yeah,
for
that's what
radio.
my father used to tell me. But even that, like some people look good on screen, but when you're in the reality of them, it's like they might smell
Right.
something like that.
You're
But it's
worried
all
about odor, Tom?
Some people, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be around a smelly person.
Right.
One of my friends growing up, his name was Petey. He was 5 or 6 years older than me. He was like my best friend growing up. He used to smell.
Yeah, but what did he smell like? I think it's important in this age of different scents that we have and different candles
Yeah.
out there that maybe you could market it if you're at least a unique scent.
La Petey.
No, what was Petey?
He was Italian.
All right, well, shots fired.
No disrespect. Shout out to your podcast. Listen, what's your top 9 today?
My top mine is practices for self-improvement.
We love it.
Yeah,
I
very
love
cool.
the topic.
I'm sorry I'm not masturbating to my favorite music.
Yeah, I was saying we needed this. We needed a refresher,
Yeah.
palate cleanser.
Colonic.
Let's
Hit
just
the
say.
restart button on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mike Cannon, message to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with this podcast in general, what I like, what the goal is, like every episode is just a completely different thing.
Right.
You
Really
know?
is.
So like this is like more of a good thing that people could, you know,
But
gain
does
some sort
it-
of
is it
positivity from.
I mean, that sounds good to me, but like from a fan's perspective, is it jolting for them? Is it jolting for
We
them
hope
to
so.
go from something to something else?
Wait,
It's like,
fans? What?
yeah, the fans, the people. There are people listening. These are plugged in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's made out of chocolate. What are you talking
That's
about?
a good show.
Take it there.
Nah. November, April Fools.
Yeah.
November 1.
We got you 4 months early.
But we talk about, taking care of ourselves at work. We check in.
That's right.
You know.
Adele, I know you're a big, you're on the same wavelength I am that way.
Yeah,
so
we bond
check
over
in.
it.
Yeah.
We've even taken classes
a
together.
yoga class, yeah.
Hot yoga class.
Yep.
yeah.
It's important.
No, it's very important,
Right.
and I subscribe to a lot of these things. I think it's funny, like the list in like whole, it feels like something that like Bruce Banner would do to like not become the Incredible Hulk.
That's pretty great.
You know?
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
If he would have done some of the things that we're talking about,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have had to run from
Mhm.
himself.
I think in the Edward Norton version that people don't really watch, I feel like he like does yoga in that one.
Yeah.
Like there's like a scene of him like doing something to
He
like make him
tries.
not. And that's what's interesting about the Incredible Hulk. It's like anytime you do these things so you don't fucking blow up,
Right.
you know?
I did a joke a while back on my Comedy Central show where they call it, he needed to be called the Incredible Hulk. And if you didn't call him incredible, that was one of the things that set him off. He's like, Why don't people get it?
Mhm.
All right, that's a
Pretty
little
good.
one for your fans out
Hey,
there
we
who are listening
appreciate
for
ya.
jokes.
Hello, mommy. Listen. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's
right?
get into the list.
Yeah.
I love it. Coming in. So generally, how we do it is 9 is your least favorite. This
Oh,
is a little
okay.
different, but I mean, you
All right.
know,
Well, all of these are
Getting-
equally important.
I think
so
that's
I wouldn't
fine.
balance it. But there,
You
I
know
mean, I
what?
guess we could rank them
if you can.
if your fans need that competitive. You know, they need to do one of the things on the list, which is meditation.
Okay.
If they need everything ranked as far as competitive, they need to take it down a notch. You know.
Yeah, you're right. Sure. So is number 9 meditation?
Number 9 is a. I have the list with me. I can
Yeah.
cheat and look at it, right?
Of course,
course.
yeah.
But number 9 is a breathing practice meditation. I used to do meditation, and now I do a breathing practice, which serves as meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you get started on something
It's
like that?
Wim Hof breathing,
Okay.
which is it's also called Tumo breathing. It's just deep breaths in. You do 30 deep breaths, and then a breath hold. And you do 5. I do 5 rounds of it. It takes
You
about
don't think it's
25 minutes.
distracting to be counting your breaths? Isn't that like
No, you
checking
listen.
into
You listen
your
to
brain?
you listen to a prompt, and it
Okay.
gauges you, so you're not counting. Yeah,
Okay.
you're just breathing and letting the air flow in and out, and then when it dings, you do a breath hold. You're doing it right now.
I tried
Wow,
for a little.
you
Yeah.
are super competitive.
Thanks.
Seriously. Passes out next
You
to
really
us.
got after it
Yeah,
just
man.
now.
Hey, listen, I'm
We
living.
we finished the podcast
He didn't
alone.
even
He's on
listen-
the floor.
Yeah, right. He didn't listen to the whole philosophy behind it. You just started doing it.
I was trying to do it while you were explaining it.
You were holding your breath while I was explaining
Yeah.
about breath work. That's
Uh-huh.
pretty ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Taking chances on this episode.
30 breaths. Guys, I'm just going to keep going. 30 breaths in, and then a breath hold, and then you time the breath hold. You hold it as long as you can, and then you let the air out, and then you start breathing again. And I do 5 rounds of it. Hopefully, most of the time, it's first thing in the morning.
I was gonna say, are you seated? Are
Yeah,
you
seated, but you can do it lying down also.
okay?
You know, harder lying down, in my opinion. But I do it sitting up, yeah, and then it's a
When
good
you
start
first
to
wake
the
up
day.
in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Try to do
30
it before coffee, and then coffee is like your little reward.
Nice.
That is nice.
It's so hard to stay disciplined with stuff like that, though. There's never a morning where you rather like sleep a little.
That's the key, sister. The whole
Well, no,
key
I
is
mean you sleep as long
consistency.
as you want to sleep, and then
Mhm.
when you wake up, when it's time to wake up, instead of getting that cup of coffee, you walk over to the couch, sit down, and then let me do this breathing first, and then I'll get coffee.
I know it's kind of obnoxious to say I don't have time because you
Right.
do, but
You
sometimes
do
I
have
feel like I
time.
jump out of bed and I'm getting
Right.
at it right away, like jumping in the shower as soon as I get up.
But even if
So-
you have an appointment early or something, you know, and people go, well, set the alarm for a half hour early. You could do that, or you could just do it later in the day, but you have to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, discipline
Yeah.
pays
Yeah.
off. Pays
Yeah.
off.
But it's all mental conditioning, too. I find the first thing in the morning is better because mental conditioning, it's like we're all just creatures of habit. You know, you get a shower, you brush your... We kind of do things the same way every day.
Yeah.
So if you just make that a practice, you'll be like, okay, it's time to breathe. You're not having an opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cultivating good habits instead of bad ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that speaks to our, like, conditioning. Like,
So-
your mental conditioning is kind of... we think we are free will, we have free will, but we're
Mhm.
really conditioned, hardcore conditioned a certain way.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's very hard. If you want to break that conditioning, then, you know, introduce another habit, a better habit.
So how does one of these breaths sound in the 30? I might have blacked out when I was holding my breath, but is it like...
Now it's all the way in and then all the
Okay.
way out.
Through your nose, mouth closed.
I do it through my nose, but he was like, the philosophy is like you could do any.
Okay,
Any
that's
kind you
good. That's
want,
good to
yeah.
know because in yoga, as you know, the
Yeah.
Ujjayi breath, you're meant to keep your lips
Ujjayi.
Right,
closed.
right.
So they're
Stomach.
just saying, breathe, bitch.
Right.
Like, however
Yeah,
you do it.
breathe however
If you
do.
haven't fucking deviated septum and your nose is not your jam and
Yeah.
you need a deep old breath with your mouth wide open, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
All right.
Sure.
that's a good way to put it. Your nose is not your jam. I've never heard that for a deviated septum, Adele.
You just don't use it, you know? It's not your thing, your
Yeah.
nose.
We got our first merch drop, everybody. Huh? Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that is.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
more of a keychain, I think. If your nose is not your jam.
All of these things make you a better person, right? I think, obviously.
Well, it's not so much a better person. It's
Better
it
human
makes you-
being.
It makes you feel you're feeling better from
I'm
the
not,
inside
yeah, what
out.
I'm saying, like, not like a good person. Like, I think it makes you a better human being, like a more functioning human being.
Yeah, yes. Ultimately, yes. But what I'm saying is there's a step before that where it's like you're feeling better about yourself. Therefore, you're better in the world.
Exactly.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But you ever come up against the other thing where it's like a very hateful person who's just vicious, and you're like, or even like a YouTube comment. I'm sure you guys don't get any, but there are people who post bad YouTube comments.
There's a couple.
And they go out of their way to be vicious. And you look at it, I'll look at it or something, or see somebody in real life who is vicious, and I'll be like, they must be suffering a huge amount. For them to go out of their way to just try to ruin somebody else's day.
Where they just have absolutely nothing going on, which is a form of suffering.
Yeah. I would say they're lost. They're lost.
Yeah. To just go out of your way to do that is, you're crazy.
But to go out of their way to comment, maybe you have nothing going on. But to craft the comment in a vicious way to try to like hit a nerve and drag somebody else. It's like, what kind of pain are you in?
Yeah.
You're in a lot of pain.
I think the longer, because you've been doing comedy for a long time, and I feel like I used to get affected by that more than I do, because you get a thicker skin, and also you come to that realization as well that these people are just fucking, suffering,
Are you talking about live shows?
No, just like YouTube comments.
YouTube,
so. Because people on the internet are different than they are in life.
Right.
Like I've met,
they're trolls. You don't know who they are. They're
not
hiding behind a profile.
But they're usually cooler in real life because they're such pieces of shit online.
Right.
Just from the things that I've dealt with. But yeah. But my point of like the better human being thing of like, okay, being a comedian, the thing with the breath thing is something with like yoga that I've found from doing yoga is like when you have more control of your breath, you're a better comedian.
I would say that, yeah.
No, for sure, because it's just like, there'd be like a joke where I would tell it was like really wordy, and I'd be like out of breath. And now like since I've done yoga, I'm not out of breath, so I just have a more command over talking, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a mind-body connection, and maybe your breath is the conduit to that.
Yeah, man, we're getting deep to this.
Yeah,
we're getting pretty
this
deep.
makes a lot of sense to me though. So
it's all connected, man. Coming in at number 8.
Okay, can I say something else about the breath work?
Of course.
It really does help. I'm trying to get anybody who will listen to do it because it just, first thing in the morning, it just like, for me, I'm tightly built, tightly wound. So it opens up my chest also. It affects me physically and that affects my mental. I find that in most things, especially with yoga also, which I guess we'll do next. But the physical, if you can open up your body, it affects your mind. Yeah. Just creatively and just in dealing with people. And it really, one thing really affects the other, which was kind of a surprise to me. I just thought, we have fitness kind of compartmentalized. Yeah. It's like, okay, I got to do that. I got to stay in shape, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it really does affect your mind. And then your mind affects like how you show up in the world.
So true.
No, absolutely.
So that's what I find. So the next one I guess we could do is yoga, which is connected.
Yeah. Well, the breath is connected. Like you said, like you sometimes you don't know until you actually do it. Like I got into yoga over the pandemic.
Right.
And like it is definitely shown. It's one of those things where like anytime I actually do it, I'm never like, this was a bad idea.
Right.
And that's exactly what like this list is like. And it's like best form. It's like, oh shit, I did this and I feel better than I did.
Right.
And yeah, I love yoga.
What's better than namaste at the end?
Yeah.
You're just like, it's over.
Man, you ever do yoga with Adrian?
Adrian who?
Appalucci. She curses at you.
Oh, really?
No. Her name's Adrian. I forget her last name, but she's probably a millionaire off of it at this point. But she started like 7 years ago, and she has like, she basically does month challenges where like she has like 7 years of like YouTube videos to pull from. So like she'll put like yoga for nourishment day 1, yoga for like abdominal wall day 2. Right. We're on nourishment this month, but yeah, man.
Well, Mike and we do hot yoga, and I do a hot yoga challenge.
Yes,
5
Adele
years.
is big on hot yoga challenge, which is unbelievable to me because it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do, and to do it for 30 days.
Commitment,
it's hard to do one class.
Okay.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. Like, I went to my first Bikram yoga class, and they were like, okay, your goal is to stay in the room. And I went, yeah, you know, I wasn't a great athlete, but I did wrestle in a very tough Division I program for a while. So I was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to be fine staying in the class. They're like, no, seriously. Just focus on staying in the class. I'm like, I got it. I'm good. And I'll tell you what, I almost left the class.
Yeah, they literally announced that your goal for your first time is to stay in the room.
Yeah. How long is it?
Just like, what?
90 minutes.
90 minutes? That is a long time.
90 minutes, 105 degrees, 26 poses. And I used to, like, when I did it, I would swear by it. It's unbelievable.
I'm sure.
Yeah. You feel quite literally like a warrior. Besides
like
the whole warrior pose part,
Yeah.
you like feel so accomplished and physically good. You're like euphoric.
Right.
And that shower and that walk,
Right.
like out the street, like after a class.
Yes,
is
you
the
feel
best.
high.
You feel high.
I think it's a deprivation thing in terms of like instead of doing drugs and alcohol to get high, it takes away your the things that you actually need, like water and air. And then when you get them back, you feel like you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tell you to sip your water like fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
You can't even, you're not allowed to like gulp or guzzle. They're like, sip, small sips.
Yeah.
You're just like, God damn it. I'm so thirsty.
Yeah.
So wait, you do this? You have done 30-day challenges of this?
Yeah, 5 years in a row. My birthday month,
Oh,
nuts.
okay.
June 1st to June 30th.
Okay.
It helps me count what I'm up to.
Yeah.
And I get it done because in my mind, I said, I want to do this so long as I can do it physically. You know, health is wealth. And
Right.
I just wanted to move my body and appreciate my body. And there's nothing that makes you feel, you know, more connected to your body than yoga, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like the sweat and just like being hot and you're just like, I am human. Like I'm doing this like for myself and pushing your limitations. It feels good when it's over. So after the challenge, after 30 days and fitting it into my schedule is wild because it's an hour and a half class and you have to absolutely shower afterwards.
Yes.
Like there's no choice.
Yeah.
So you need a 2-hour window at the very minimum to commit every day. So if I had work, always before work. If I had something to do on a Sunday, like I was taking 6 a.m. classes if I needed to like go on a train, bike, whatever. But you like get it out of your mind that there's an option to not go.
Right.
You figure it out. You look at the schedule and you know your own and you pick your class and you book the class and you fucking show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a board in the studio. You put a little
said
sticker.
there's a boy in there and he's cute.
Board. And you check every day.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite part too.
It's great.
Put my little marker.
Yeah. A physical notation of your sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to do. So a lot of admiration. I've told you this goes out because it's like to you because that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. When I'm going through it, we often talk about it while I'm going through it. And it gives me a little like, you got this. But yeah, pandemic came and I missed 2020. And then 2021, I probably technically could have done it. It's gyms started opening up again, but I didn't. I could still do it. I should do it by the end of the year.
It's never too late. Hot yoga challenge. Well, you know, you mentioned like meditation, like you try to get people on meditation. I try to get people on yoga, but like yoga isn't yoga. To me, yoga is just meditation with stretching.
It's a moving meditation.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd say I'm doing because I'm in the equinox now, so I'm doing these vinyasa classes because they're just offered there. So I'll do those instead, and it's a different feel than Bikram. Bikram is more
on a scale of 1 to 1,000. What do you think your root chakra is right now?
My root chakra?
Yeah.
What is that?
You know,
I know chakra, but I don't know the implications of root chakra.
I'm not really sure either. Just kind of hoping you knew, and I was just gonna go with it. It's like third eye shit, man.
Oh,
like
third eye.
How
The root chakra.
Yeah, man.
Well, Bikram starts every class with concentrate, meditate, and begin.
Right.
So
yeah, that's 90 minutes. I'd be interested because I lost weight. So, and I've been doing fasting, which I didn't include on the list, but fasting is and I'm fasting.
We don't got time for fasting.
We don't have
top
time
9,
for fasting.
man.
Top 9 only.
Come on. No.
But it's like, once
everybody
you
likes
wrap
to
your
eat.
head around it and you go, look, I'm just not eating till this time.
Yeah.
Then you like what you do with the 30-day challenge. Like, no matter what happens, I'm doing it. I don't care if I have to show up limping or I have to,
That's gotta be tough for an Italian too.
It is very
fasting.
Tough. But it's very hard. But it's what we need because I don't know. In my house anyway, I was socialized. Your eating is a learned habit, and we were just taught to eat terribly, which is not terrible food. My mother was a great cook and made sure every meal was great, but just overeating and just eating
huge
emotionally,
portions.
huge portions at any time. It's like All right, somebody's got to put a stop to this.
Yeah.
It's true.
I got McDonald's every Friday for, I think, the first 18 years of my life.
Wow.
Yep.
Which,
Wait,
like...
What?
Yeah.
Which trailer park did you grow up in? Sorry. Shots fired.
Delmar Street, baby. Okay, coming in at number 7.
Oh, okay. So what do we do? Let's do a quick review for the
We've done
we've
meditation,
done
and yoga.
breath work and yoga. Breath work and yoga. Meditation and yoga.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Was breath work and meditation the same thing? It was,
Breath work
right?
and meditation
Yeah,
were
yeah,
the same
cool.
thing. You're meditating when you're doing breath work.
Mm-hmm.
And then yoga was a big one. Weights and cardio were one.
Fucking hate cardio. I hate
Yeah, but
it.
do you find it's much easier after you do yoga when your body's opened up? It's cardio is much easier, isn't
It's
it?
true. Yes. The one thing I do like about cardio, it's like you like feel your heart, obviously heart racing, but you
Right.
could tell like all those red blood cells are going through your body.
Yeah.
It kind of like wakes you up. Like,
Yeah.
hello, let's
Yeah.
do this. You know, but
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Never, like, I've always, like, tried to push myself to be, like, a weight person.
Yeah.
But I'm just so, like, skinny that I just don't, like, I've, like, kind of moved away from it and, like, get back in that yoga thing. And, like, for me, cardio, biking, man.
Right.
That's on my list. That's number 1.
Biking. That's the good thing about cardio. It's like you could choose a different thing that you want to do.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Because running, that's...
You don't like running.
I
You're
don't like
more of a
running.
bike. I like running
You
a
do
little
like
bit
running.
more. I've figured it out now. Like I'll do a circuit of weights.
Mm-hmm.
I need weights. So
What do you bench?
for the I don't max out anymore, but I do a circuit of weights to make sure that I'm staying, and also at my age, like
Yeah.
I have to make sure my testosterone level is up, and I think that from weights that the weights help that, and I want to feel strong. So a circuit of weights, and then stretch, which I never used to do after the weights for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then run. And I find that running is much easier after I've stretched and opened my body up.
Yeah.
The weights intimidate me. I never really venture out to them.
Really?
Yeah, I should just fucking get over it. Get on the floor.
Yeah.
One time I had a trainer, and
I wanna
that's
feel
really
strong.
yeah. I want to feel strong, and
Yeah.
it
You
reminds
said
me
that.
when you said that I was like, I need to just venture out. But I did do weights with the trainer, and she used to call me champ after everything, and I
great.
loved it.
It's
It
great.
was the
Nice.
best.
Yeah.
So get it up, champ. Yeah, champ.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
the
See,
best.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of feel like I have to push myself to want to be strong in that way. Like, you're a man.
Well,
You know what I mean?
take all that out of it, Tom. Take all of
Okay.
it out of it
All right,
and go
please.
like this, because this is how things get done. Seriously, I realize this.
Hit me.
You take your emotion out of it, and like,
Mhm.
I'm not really this, I'm not really that. It's like,
Yeah.
let's just come up with a program, the
Mhm.
full body. You don't have to be in there, for nobody's The Rock.
I'm not
You don't have to
Rocky
be
in the
there forever.
woods. I get it.
A circuit that's 45 minutes,
45
30
minutes.
to 45 minutes of weights,
Mhm.
and just do it. 3 sets of 10, and then after a month, just do it a couple days a week, and then
Mhm.
evaluate it. Like, is this worth it? Is it working? Is it not working?
Yeah.
But like the emotion that we take into it, it's like, I'm not really this guy. I don't really know. It's like, just do it for a month and then do it once a week for a month
Yeah.
with your biking, and then see what happens.
Mhm. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I gotta switch it up because it's
Sorry
getting
if I'm
cold
yelling
out.
a little bit more.
No, I like it.
I have to coach you guys up. I feel like
No,
now, 'cause of
yeah,
my
no,
list.
absolutely. I've felt like that. I'm entirely too emotional, and like part of it is knowing that. That's how you move on.
Yeah.
From that, but yeah, like I can't not take that into account.
Into a workout, you're saying?
I mean, I can when you just yelled at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fired up now.
Fired up. You got to get in there and do it. But no, we all
I get
take
a pull-up bar.
we all take our lives into it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, just
Yeah.
do it, and just come up with it when you're kind of like in a neutral
Mhm.
state, and then just follow through with it, and then evaluate it.
So I think what you're saying is have a plan
Right.
and just stick to it
Execute.
and start small,
Yeah.
baby steps, execute it from beginning to end, get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
And then even if it doesn't work, you're like, oh, maybe there is some value in this or this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No pain, no gain,
No
baby.
pain, no gain.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I find with the cardio, like you like to do biking, and I like to do running. And I tell you what's really hard is, like, do you ever lean into something that you just don't like to do?
Mm-hmm. The Stairmaster.
Okay, what Stairmaster are you talking? Are you talking about the one that does your calves, or talking about the one where you're walking up the stairs?
Walking up the stairs.
That's mine too. I do not
Torture.
like it.
Every minute is an eternity
Yeah.
on that thing.
Right.
My max is 15. I can't do more than 15 minutes.
I do 15 too.
It's so hard.
It's very hard.
And I do it because it's so hard. And something in me says you're struggling so much that the yin to the yang of this has to be a good payoff. It has to be good.
Absolutely right.
I have to be doing something extra. My body's working harder, sweating, burning some cellulite dimple somewhere.
Right.
I don't know what's happening, but my body's completely freaking out. This is so hard.
But that's a really great mindset to, you don't like it, and you lean into it, and that's a good thought. That's a good thing.
Feel fucking strong after, like a warrior.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's podcast that I like a lot, he said something like that, of like the key to success is like doing something, being able to do something you don't like, but with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
All of these things are connected. Like you're saying, like the breath makes you feel better, which makes you better.
Right.
And like it's all, it's all connected, baby.
Yeah.
Everything is.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I love this regimen
We're made of
on
this.
right now.
We're on it.
Yeah. Coming in at number 6.
Okay, so let me say one more thing about the cardio I was trying to make.
Hey, this is an hour podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll move it. We're gonna move it along.
Valuable information to share with us.
I find as a comic though, I like to I did a different activity the other day, and I like to give myself a backstory, like I did canoeing.
Okay.
And it's like, it's like me and my girlfriend and her something boss are out, and then he's a woodsman and I don't have any experience. But then we're out together, and somehow I find out that they've been sleeping together, and he tries to kill me and make it look like an accident in the woods, and I have to canoe because I'm not good at canoeing, and he's a canoe master, so I'm canoeing for my life, you know what I mean? Because I'll die, she'll think it was an accident, or maybe she was in on it, and then they'll get to be together, and no one will be any the wiser. So that's my motivation behind canoeing.
Interesting.
Give yourself a backstory. Like, who knows what Adele's doing? Walking up the stairs to get an Oscar?
I think about like
podcast award,
boy fantasies.
Yes.
Like
I'm going up here to suck this guy.
No,
what are you talking about?
Like idea, like I don't know. You think the best thing that could happen to you is you zone out about something that excites you.
Yeah.
You know, when you're running. I love zoning out running because you eat 30 seconds at a time. All of a sudden because I'll do a walk and sprint thing on the treadmill. That's my
interval
jam.
training. That's another good one.
That's my jam.
You're almost like because not everybody that's interesting that you do that, like the boy fantasy, but like you really painted a picture there with that canoeing story.
He's trying to kill me, Tom.
You have like the childlike wonder, like you have a childlike mind to a certain extent of like, because I feel like I did that more when I was like a child, like these complicated backstories of canoeing. Right. Now,
the word is immature.
I don't think so. What do you mean? You're right. But what I'm saying is like, are you coming up with it while you're canoeing? Is this?
While I was canoeing, I was like, wow, you know what because I'm like, this is whatever.
Sure.
It's not that taxing where it's like I'm dying, and it's not. But I'm like, no, let me take myself out of my comfort zone and do this. Okay, what do I have to do to make this work and valid for me?
Why do you think your girlfriend was cheating with you?
She's cheating because this guy's a powerful guy, and he knows the woods. Yeah. Look, if the guy knows the woods and I don't know anything, it gives him a lot of power. He's like, oh, do this and do that, and she's like, subtly maybe getting turned. I don't know what's going on in people's heads. She might be getting turned on by it, and they have this thing back and forth, and then all of a sudden I'm out on the waters.
You can't be inside her fantasy and your fantasy. I get it.
I could be dead.
Yeah.
I could be a dead man, and then they get to live together.
No,
not happening. Not if I push myself.
Not if
to the ultimate limit.
Absolutely. Coming in at number 6.
Cold showers. Cold showers goes along with the breath work. It's a Wim Hof method.
It's hard to breathe in a cold shower.
Yeah. Well, it makes you regulate. It forces you to regulate your breath.
So I have caught myself being like, because there's a cold shower we're going to combine it. We'll get to that later. In the steam room at Equinox.
Right.
It's like in the steam room. So I'll put it on and like get under there. But I can't breathe. I have to like stick my head on the side.
But don't you find that the heat relaxes you to the point where when the cold hits you, you're less likely to tense up?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like going in a jacuzzi and then jumping into a pool.
Something.
Kind of like that.
It's like that, but your body's initial response is to tighten up and freeze up, and if you can breathe through that, it's also all kinds of physical benefits for you also.
It's good for your pores, a cold shower. Closes them up.
Yeah, it's really great. It really makes you feel good.
Is it dangerous, like this time of year when it gets cold out? Like,
No.
No?
I don't think so. The other thing it does, Tom, because you make a great point.
Mm-hmm.
You do make a great point because I never feel like taking a cold shower. And then you have a voice in your head that goes, isn't it dangerous to take a cold shower this time of year? You get all these doubts creeping.
Yeah.
But, and this is a serious thing, and this applies to other things in life. You have to boss your mind. Your mind will take you to every easy place. And that's David Goggins, by the way. I don't want to take credit for saying it because it's his idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like your mind will take you to every weak place. But if you boss your mind and go, no, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what, like Adele's thing with the yoga challenge. Like, I don't care what we got going on. I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weak thought that I'm having, and I'm gonna. Your mind is not the boss.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the only way through is straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you always feel better afterwards.
Have you ever been a life coach or anything like that to anybody?
No, I'm trying to work on it in my spare time, but not for anybody else. But because I don't get preachy, because I have my own struggles. But it's like things that are helping me, especially through the pandemic, in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's helping me to live a happier life.
Yeah, no, I like it, and this is a good idea for.
And if it's working for you, you want to tell people you care about these things.
Right,
absolutely.
Right, maybe you know, because I didn't do all this at once. I was like, let me try this practice. Let me see how it works. Let me see, do all the research behind it. I mean, what else are we doing? You're on your phones. You're on Instagram. You're on, you're looking at nonsense. You're looking at TikTok. It's like, why not do a deep dive into these things that can actually make you feel better from the inside out?
Unlock the warrior within. This is also our first Patreon. Mike's going to take a cold shower, and we're going to film him.
Film me taking a cold shower.
Question about the cold shower.
I was going to go with Adele, but it felt too sexist. I didn't want
Sexy.
Yeah, or that's what I meant. Or
do you
sexist.
eventually turn it to warm water, or are you just doing the whole shower in
whole
cold
shower
water?
cold?
Like,
now,
wow. See, I always end up warming up the water.
Well, they say that you could warm it up first and then ease into the cold. But I've been doing it for a little while now, so it's like the whole shower's cold. Yeah.
Damn.
Sink into the coldness. Yeah.
You're a gangster.
Yeah. No, I just I'm too afraid
to
do it warm because I don't want to get used to it.
And then your heart's probably racing when you get out of the shower.
I sit into the point where my body like adjusts.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll breathe in the shower. I like do conscious breathing in the shower.
Sick.
I could use this. I'm gonna try this tomorrow. I'm like, this is a good time for this too. I'm shooting something next Wednesday.
It's great,
and it's becoming very daunting because I'm like doing too much.
Right.
And like there have been like last night I was like maybe I just shouldn't do this, and I was like fuck that. I'm gonna do it, but it's just that moment.
Yeah.
But I think a cold shower is gonna help me in this experience.
It helps your mentality.
It gets stressful,
It helps your mentality, man.
Yeah.
It really does.
And then you just get out of the shower and you towel off, and that's it, right?
I towel off and then I get I relax. I get dressed. And then,
I don't know why that's so funny. I didn't mean to ask it like that. So then what happens?
And then what happens? I get dressed.
He puts the lotion on.
You just
walk around
staying there
naked.
for a while.
Yeah.
No, explain what you do
Well, no,
next, Mike.
My hair care process is it's
step
takes
by
about 4
step,
hours.
please. Okay.
To spike my hair.
Holy shit, we got to keep moving. That was 6. Coming in at 5.
All right. So the
No.
cold shower.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got to do my phone code.
No problem.
All right. Journaling.
I have not.
Yeah. I don't do it every day. But it's really good to get in the practice of journaling, even if you're not like in our field, which is creating
But especially for that.
Especially for it.
Yeah.
All these new ideas for jokes. I mean, so many funny things, potentially funny things happen in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And we're missing them because we're just not, don't have a practice of documenting them.
Yeah.
And how you feel and all this other stuff plays into it, your interactions with other people.
Don't you have a fear of someone reading your journal? Like, not that you're putting in there like I'm a fucking pedophile, like but like your private thoughts.
We'll fix that in post.
Meaning, like nobody, none of us in this room are putting anything in a journal that we could, be arrested for or really be embarrassed about. But isn't that like, I don't know, like a privacy thing? Like
it's a privacy thing, but here's what I do, because I don't put anybody's name in there. if you and me were having an interaction and I put it in my journal, I'd put AC.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that if anybody does read it, you shouldn't be. I don't want to throw you under the bus.
I don't think anyone thinks
anybody.
Of this,
I don't want to throw
Mike.
anybody under the bus if it's accidentally read. I mean, me, I'll take the whatever responsibilities for my own thoughts. But for innocent bystander, like people I interact with, I don't want them either hurt. I don't want them hurt.
That's beyond thoughtful. Question for you both.
So who's sneaking in and taking your journal?
That's my next question.
Paranoid.
Would you look at a spouse's journal if you found it? Or like knew you couldn't get caught?
No, I've learned
that you are home alone. They will never, ever, ever know you open this journal. Do you open the journal?
I'm going to answer that question.
You both are in relationships.
I'm going to answer that question with a story, which made me remind you of journaling. I feel like we stay the same. Like we're the same. Like you're kind of fundamentally you. I think when you're born, but then you change over time. Like you're not the same person you were 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
So like to me, what's cool about journaling sometimes is like I remember I journaled. Like right when I was starting comedy, and I had like a job, and I like looked at something that I wrote, and it was me, but it was like a different person.
Yes.
So it's nice to have that for yourself.
Right.
20 years down the line.
Right.
To answer your question, no, I would not, because it's none of my business. So like I've also made that mistake before.
Okay, so see.
And you can't. But I'm saying I learned from that mistake. It's like no, I'm good. I don't care.
That's an immaturity thing that you couldn't help yourself. I think with growth and being an adult, you can resist the temptation, but must be really tempting.
I guess. Do you want to field this one?
No, I it's just a thing where it's like I don't want that done to me. I don't want to do it to somebody else. So it's like, and also like whatever. Her thoughts are, it's like it'll come out with how we're interacting.
It's just the best.
It will all come out.
You're just like a solid, sound, good person. I love
But he's on the edge, man. He's got to do all these things so he can do this.
That's fair,
There's
Tom.
that
really
underlying creeping thing,
It's
That's absolutely fair.
There's an intensity to Mike.
No, it is really true. But I've felt hopeless before and trapped and didn't know how to get out of it, and I'm little by little every night, like I'll listen to a podcast or listen to a lecture, and it can sound corny or whatever, or read books, but like it's only one shot at life. So it's like, I always thought, I'm like, wouldn't it be great, you see people, and I've said this before, but you see people on the street and they're living on the street and they're on heroin and or some kind of a drug that's making them like crave and like they're in wrapped up in addiction, and you look at them and it's like they look like they're in hell. They look like they're in a metaphysical hell. So if that's possible, the opposite must be true. It must be possible for you to be walking around in a heavenly state, and I think it is possible. But the question is, 'cause we're living just inside of ourselves.
I think it's just getting comfortable with death, because we're all going to die.
We're all going to die, but like, how do you feel wouldn't it be great if you were just walking around in a state of bliss every day? Every day.
I feel like you need the rain to appreciate the sun, though, too. Because no matter what, I think you can get in those long periods of bliss.
Right.
But, like, I don't think that's realistic. Like, I think you have to, like, take your bliss and let the sun hit you when it does. But you also, like, need, like, it's just, like, it seems unrealistic to be in that constant
I don't think he's saying bliss 24/7 every day. I think he's saying the level of bliss we don't all achieve where we could potentially get to. Like, we're not fully as happy as we could be walking around. So it's not a constant state of happiness.
Or maybe you said the sun thing, but part of the bliss is being able to be an alchemist, and like, it's raining. How can I flip this to see? Because we're existing with our own thoughts.
Sure.
We're existing in our own head, and you're functioning on the narrative that you're telling yourself every day, and that's translating to your emotions and your feelings. So you're walking in the sun, you're feeling bliss. Now it starts to rain. Your natural reaction is, oh, shit, it's raining now. This sucks. But what if you were able to flip that and go, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Flip the thoughts, flip the emotions, and also be able to appreciate that at the same level that you appreciated the sun.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I don't know. It seems like a far-fetched thing, maybe, but
Yeah.
it's just like the point is that we're all existing in our own mind, in our own body. So it's like you could be I used to walk around just because I was not conscious of my negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good guy. I'm working hard. I'm whatever. It's like, oh, you're not listening to your own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I was depressed most of the time. I was down most of the time. I was listening to the music I was listening to was sad, bitter kind of like music. It's like, oh, you're not the guy you think you are. You have to like start examining these things. Start examining the thoughts that you have and go, oh, this is what's putting me in this place.
The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship.
It's huge. It's a huge thing. And
what would you do if I just kissed you right now?
I would. Tongue or no tongue?
That would be disrespectful. Coming in at number...
Disrespectful and hot.
Was that...
We're at 5.
This is 5 coming in?
Yeah.
Are you sure? No, that was 5. That was 5. This is 4.
4?
And, yes.
We already mentioned it. Steam room.
Yeah. Shit's fucking awesome.
It's pretty great.
Now that we're getting, like, down to this, I like imagining, like, doing, like, you losing your mind and, like, you're, like, on the edge. So you're just, like, combining things. You're, like, journaling in a steam room while stretching. Listening to positive music.
Steam room journaling. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Steam room journaling. I kind of wish that it was yoga.
Wet. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not doing hot yoga anymore because of Equinox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing the Bikram, but sometimes I'll stretch if there's nobody in the steam room.
That's the key. You got to be alone. Nobody wants to see
right.
that happening. Right. Yeah, I love a steam room. Believe it or not, people are like scared to get like naked in a steam room. I'm like, for that, I gave Emma Willman the freedom to, I'm like, just try it one day alone.
Yeah.
Take your towel down by yourself when you're alone in the steam room. And she came the next day to the club. She's like, oh my God, it was so invigorating. I feel free. And I was like, yeah, it's the best.
It's pretty great.
Sweating.
You're sweating and you feel better. And sometimes now, because the gym is not that far from me, like I'll go, and if I don't feel like doing anything, I'll just take a steam, take a shower. Like today, I didn't feel like doing anything, so I just took a steam, shaved, took a shower, came here.
Shit, shower, shave, baby.
That's it.
Something.
Steam.
Yeah.
Steam.
Sure. Steam.
Hopefully it's not a steaming shit. Oh, that's terrible.
Sometimes those feel, you got to get those out sometimes.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm mad I said that.
We're back to smells.
That's okay.
It's too much.
All right, so steaming we've covered.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about steaming that much. Let's move on.
All right.
I'm sorry. To
No
number
problem.
3.
Stretching.
Stretching.
Now, it would seem to be the same thing as yoga, but yoga is like a practice and you're breathing through. But when I don't have time for yoga, sometimes and that's another David Goggins thing, which is like he worked himself so hard. He was so wound up and tight. He started stretching every night. He started having health problems because he was so wound up.
Mm-hmm.
You stretch. Like last night, I didn't have anything to do, no spots. Katie went out, so I went to work. And I laid out the yoga mat and just, you could put something on your computer or TV and just stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be, you could be listening to something else, but it's a practice of opening your body up.
It's really, really sad how few people could touch their toes.
Yeah.
Like grown adults, like nobody's stretching.
Right.
Nobody is making their body work for them, and then their body will eventually give up and not work anymore.
Right.
But stretching is huge. I get on my mom a lot about it, and I think it's important to keep your bones going.
Yeah.
My little brother who has Crohn's disease, was like during the pandemic, I was staying there. I was like, let's just start simple.
Yeah.
Bend over. To go towards your toes. Put your fingertips towards your toes.
Right.
And every day, inch down a little bit more. And by the end, he was like full palm on the floor.
Right.
So
You tend not to do the stuff that you're not good at.
yeah.
So I'm not good at stretching either, but I'm like, who cares? Like, it's like put something on, put a podcast or something that you like on, and just, it's so low impact, just do it. And it pays off.
Yeah, you're moving around. Just keeping it simple. It's like
Moving around, getting the blood flow to different areas. And plus, I also have like danger of like lower back tightness and hip tightness. And some of this stuff just really, it makes you feel better, makes you sleep better.
You know, it's fucking awesome getting stretched. I meant actually getting stretched.
I thought that was in the Mike Cannon episode. What the hell's going on here?
No, when you have a trainer, and because there's some places your body can't move. Yeah, stretching you out, like pushing your body to a limit that you can't do on your own, and that like safe kind of
scared.
Extra push you get from somebody stretching out, or a trainer, a professional. That's the best.
Stretching clinic. There's like stretching clinics now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where they do that. I'd be interested to go to one of those.
Have you ever hung upside down? That's kind of like stretching. Those machines that by the ankle, and then you turn completely upside down. Yeah, that's pretty
good?
Cool. Yeah, my friend's Russian dad swore by it. He was just like, he was a doctor and like would hang upside down almost every night. It helps with his like sciatica, back.
I bet.
All that kind of stuff. Just because gravity is just going the other way.
Right.
Adele, come upside down with me. Give me tickets to the show.
It's a good activity you could do while you're doing something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm looking at the list.
No problem, baby. Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
This is. Make sure that you only have 2 left on this list, please. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that I didn't skip one.
No.
Yeah. So.
Stretching we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we have 2.
Okay, cool. Number 2.
Walking.
I'm a walking fool.
Yeah.
I walk everywhere. So do you.
Yeah. I do that here, especially now I live in that move to the city. I make it a point to walk everywhere.
Walking's nice. I mean, walking around the city, that's nice.
Yeah.
It gets you out if you're depressed, you might as well get out. That's nice.
Right.
But the difference, I think, like yoga, right? When I do yoga, I'm like, every time I do yoga, I'm like, this was a good idea. I think walking is good, and it's better than doing nothing. It's like stretching, right? But I feel like you almost like, you could be walking around and be doing like that thing where you're talking about like you're like being negative or something in your head or something like that. So like walking's good, but like, you got to walk with a purpose.
That goes to the last one. Where are we? Time-wise, we're pretty good.
Yeah, we're great.
Right.
If you want to go to one, you can, unless you want to talk about walking a little.
Walking goes hand in hand with my last one.
Sure.
Because you hit on it. I wasn't gonna go there, but you.
Number 1, baby.
Walking is great because it's such a. I'll say this. It's a low impact.
Mm-hmm.
Like today, I just went to the steam room and I took a shower, so it wasn't really extra, but it was like a 30-minute walk here. 35, and then it'll be a 35-minute walk back. So there is low impact exercising there, and like on a day like today, I'm fasting, so it's good. I don't want to have a long, strenuous workout. So for something low impact, it's really good. And for older people doing, like my mother is in her 80s, and she walks every day.
Yeah.
And what she does is it's an interesting thing for older people too. She walks like according to the sidewalk. Like she'll make sharp turns according to the lines in the sidewalk, and it helps keep her mental aspect sharp.
Yeah, I like thinking about your mom doing like making up stories like you do too.
Yeah.
Like my son.
Step on a crack and break your mother's back.
That's right.
That's right.
But her stories also revolve around your imaginary girlfriend cheating on you. I better make this right turn, or Mike's girlfriend's gonna cheat on him again.
My mom prays when she walks, Tom. So,
well, those are positive.
Sorry to call you out on that, but she.
Relax.
She does prayers when she's walking. She prays for me, my brother, and my sister.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. I keep Jesus in my heart, so it's fine with me. I love Jesus.
So I'd say walking is great. My sister also walks, and it's a good low impact activity. Yeah. And the last one, I think we've mentioned it several times, but it's affirmations.
Positive affirmations coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
I'll say this about positive affirmations. I think they are good. I think you got to pick one, though, to a certain extent. Or, like, it's almost like a mantra.
Right.
Because, like, on the way over here, I saw, like, I was just Googling things, to prepare. I like to be prepared for the podcast.
Right.
And it was, like, top 15 positive affirmations. And by, like, 14, I was just kind of angry. Like, if you read too many positive affirmations back to back to back to back, it's like it's too much positive affirmation.
Well, I mean, is it too much positive affirmation, or they're not ringing true for you? Like, I find that the ones that ring true for me and there's truth in them, they track. They really track.
Well, I think the reason why you pick select few is because the repetitiveness is what makes it work.
Right.
So you're going to really hone in on a few of them and say them as many times as possible.
All right, tell me if you start getting angry when I start reading these.
I mean,
and I know what you're saying of like, if there's something that's like hitting me like, oh, I'm not doing that. And it's kind of was like that, but I think it was just such a, it just becomes like an avalanche of positive affirmation. And I think with anything in life, it's like, you have to have a certain amount of it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not really understanding.
If you, like, too much of anything is a bad thing. If you're overloading yourself with positive affirmations all the time, you're probably fucking psychotic. Listen, I
don't know. If you make it I make it a practice while I'm walking. I'm not saying I'll do it for a certain amount of time, and then I'll let my mind wander.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back, and I'll go, I'll do the every day and in every way I'm getting better and better. Every day and in every way I'm getting better and better.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like got a nice jingle to it.
Yeah.
It's a nice mantra. It's short and it's, when people go, I'm a multimillionaire, they go, oh, that's not true. It doesn't ring true.
Mm-hmm.
But every day and every way I'm getting more abundant. It's like, that's true.
Yeah.
That's like a true thing. Like I'm becoming more abundant every day. And it's like easier to digest than something that your mind stops and goes, that's just not true.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get past that point. And again, the whole point of it is to improve the state that you're in.
Yeah, a couple of mine will be like, I'm capable of anything I set my mind to. Right. I easily complete my tasks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It helps me with work.
Right.
You won't kiss Mike in the podcast today. You won't kiss Mike in the podcast today. No. Yours reminds me of, you were a teacher at some point, right?
Right.
Did you teach like in inner city high schools at all?
I taught I worked with kids with, one job I taught, I was a counselor with adjudicated kids, which was rougher. And then, but it was a great program.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other program was with kids in the mental health field thrown out of Philadelphia schools.
Oh, wow.
And then one city job, one working class suburban job, and then an affluent suburban job. Okay. So I taught in all three areas. But the bulk of my work was with kids with emotional and behavioral problems.
Yeah, well, that your affirmation just reminded me. It had like a lean on me vibe of like a good like thing to like say if you're like an inner city youth and your back's against the wall. It's like a good you'd be a good teacher.
Getting better and better.
Yeah. Wait, what was it?
Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
It's got like it's got a rhythm to it. Every day.
Well, that whole thing is like it's a jingle. Yeah, it's a rhythm and it sinks into your. The whole point is I've done a lot of reading about the subconscious mind and stuff because we're trained. I'm sorry if it's getting late, but we're trained. Like our subconscious mind is developed to the age of 7 by our parents and our surroundings, but it's possible to retrain your subconscious mind. It is possible. So I'm figuring, like, reading books on how to do that. And from what I can gather, you listen to affirmations right before you go to bed, and then you listen to them as soon as you wake up in the morning because your mind is in a moldable state at those times. Mm-hmm. So I think it's possible to do. We all have we all were molded a certain way to age 7, and then, the world started kicking in. But you're able to reprogram, and that's what I try to do.
I don't journal, but I write my affirmations down in a journal.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll do.
That's great too.
There's something about like saying it, writing it, seeing it.
Yes.
Just like it feels like I'm
it's really great.
Yeah. Pumping it up a little bit. And that I'll do before bed. And it also kind of like makes me sleepy a little bit because I'm like, all right, enough.
Right.
I'm done. I'm tired.
I love getting sleepy so I can go to sleep. Yeah, great list. I would say the thing that I was thinking of is like, you kind of mentioned it of like being well rested. Mm-hmm. But I also think like, I feel like the key of like, and it's so simple, but like waking up early seems to be so important.
That's an honorable mention. Yeah. Being on a schedule, waking up early.
Waking up
while
early.
Figuring out how to also be rested though.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Jerking off didn't make the list.
Nope. No. I don't like
self-improvement.
You know what would have made the list? Not watching porn.
Okay. Yeah.
Not watching it.
It's an honorable mention.
I don't know. It's an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But I found that I can't put my finger. I don't know the science behind it, but it's not good.
No, yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I'm out of that game.
Yeah.
You know, I dabble from time to time. I'm human.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, nah, no, thank you. Well, thank you for
Anything
coming.
in excess isn't good, right?
That's what I said earlier about those goddamn positive affirmations.
You're just a jaded bitch, Tom. You don't want to see anybody.
It's been such a positive episode, and then she calls me a jaded bitch at the end. Oh my lord!
We're the
You're
same.
fired
Twinning.
again. Coming in at nothing. The list is over.
The
Where
list
can
is
the
over.
people find you, Mike?
At Comic Mike V on all social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram, at Comic Mike V. MikeVecchione.com for dates. I also have 2 podcasts. One is called Mike Vecchione Investigates, wherever you get podcasts. And the other one is called The Macaroni Rascals with Greg Stone. It's a Patreon, but we do release the episodes. So please subscribe to The Macaroni Rascals.
Absolutely, and check out Mike's stand-up. It's the best, man.
Yeah,
So
at the
great.
stand all the time. We love to have you.
Yeah, I love being there.
Come check us out. See some shows at the stand. Follow me on Lavoro_Adele. Listen to Top 9 podcast episodes every Tuesday coming out.
Yep.
Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Pretty good. Not too shabby there. TomCassidy.com, Top 9 Pod, Instagram, Twitter, Cassidy Comedy. Appreciate you, man. That was another positive episode of Top 9 Podcast.
Good. I feel like I have a plan.
We'll be back with some stupid bullshit next week,
Yes,
but at least we lived in this moment and had a nice time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mike.
guys.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys. See you next week.